I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. You need to know, you need to know, you need to know. We all need to know. What do we all need to know? What do you need to know? What do I need to know? Today, we need to know specifically what this Bible verse is talking about. In the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. What is actually the real interpretation, the theological interpretation or hermeneutical interpretation of this place? Because most of us, we quote it out of context by misquoting it, misinterpreting it. So 1 Timothy 6:10 says, for the love of money, for the love of money. You need to know that something has been coming before this verse 10. It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which why some covet, others do not covet. After they have erred, some people have erred, others have not erred. From faith, that means they have stumbled away from faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. See, so many people are doing money rituals. Everybody are looking for shortcuts. Why? Because they love money. And don't forget, Bible says, don't love any other God. Well, that means when you are serving, when you love money, that means money has become God in your life. So anything that you love above God, that means that thing has become your God. So let's break it down little by little. Historical context. So who is the person that wrote this Bible? Is Apostle Paul. He wrote it to Timothy, a younger pastor in Ephesus. Paul wrote the book of 1st and 2nd Timothy to Timothy, one of his mentee, one of those people that he mentored. So Timothy was a young pastor in Ephesus. So what is the purpose why Paul wrote this letter to Timothy? Paul is giving Timothy pastoral instruction, leadership instruction on doctrines in terms of leadership, in terms of godliness, and dealing with false teachers. So that's the purpose that Paul wrote this letter to Timothy. So in chapter 6, Paul warns against false teachers who are driven by greed. We saw them all today. They want to do what they can do, so therefore they now erred from the faith. So because they love money more than ministry, more than their calling, more than their God. So Paul was warning Timothy against false teachers who are driven by greed, and he contrasted their motives with the contentment and godliness that should mark Christians' life. So what is the literal meaning of this context? Verse 6 and 9 emphasize godliness with contentment over material gains. Godliness with contentment over material gains. Verse 10 now says, continues that thought by exposing the dangerous spiritual consequences of money. So if you love money too much, that means if you love money more than God, what are the consequences? Well, so Paul have to expatiate on this issue. So what is the meaning, the terms and the meaning? So the love of money, the love of money. So you emphasize that the love of money. The Greek name, the Greek meaning is philagoria. Philagoria. So not money itself, but the greed, that is, you love money, the greed, craving for wealth. You want to achieve everything. This must be yours, this must be yours. You just want to grab everything. So the craving for wealth and idolizing of riches. You worship riches. You just want to be the only one that accumulate everything, even though you don't even need it. So nobody is saying, yes, money is needed in ministry. We need money to propagate the gospel, but don't love money more than the gospel. Don't love money more than God. So root of evil, the root of all evil, that is, love of money is the root of all evil. You need to understand this. So the root of all evil, meaning in Greek, is Rizapaton ton kakon, meaning more accurately a root of all kinds of evil. All kinds of evil. If you are doing this, it's because of money. If you are, a lot of people are pulling some people down because of money. A lot of people are doing rituals because of money. Everything is just, when you trace it, it's about money. Some people that are pulling other people down because of promotion, because of this or that, is because of money. So you need to know now, not that every sin comes from greed. Not all sins come from greed, but that many types of sins flow from the love of money. So converted after, that is, you lure after, you chase after, long for, in a way that displeases God. You are doing it in a way that God doesn't like it. The way you just want to acquire money is not the will of God. So you err from faith. That means you move away from faith. That is, some have abandoned true Christian faith in pursuit of riches. You see something, they don't even go to church. Oh, I have to make money. I have to make money. Instead of you to be in the presence of God, a lot of people have moved away from Christian faith and by pursuing money. So pierce themselves through with many sorrow. They pierce themselves through with many sorrow. What do we mean? They self-inflicted emotional, spiritual, and moral pains result from greed-driving decision. A lot of people have entered into covenant, have entered into secret court, and they can't come out because they love him. So what is the theological significance of this? You see, greed is spiritually dangerous. Greed is spiritually dangerous. It competes with God for the heart. So wealth is not evil. Wealth is not evil. Riches is not evil. But it becomes a trap when loved or pursued wrongly. It becomes a trap when you pursue it wrongly. So Paul is warning against both false teachers and any believers who begins to prioritize money over faith. You prioritize money over God. When you're supposed to be in the presence of God, you announce, I need to be this, I need to be... No, nobody says you must not work, but you have to make sure that you don't have other God apart from God. So common interpretation. The common interpretation is that they misquoted it in terms of money is the root of all evil, or is the root of all evil. No, this is incorrect. The love of money is the issue. The love of money, not money itself. The love of money is not the problem. We need money to do so many things in the gospel, in propagating the gospel. But when you now love money than God, so you need to do that. So the love of money is the issue, not money itself. Scripture affirms that wealth can be used for God's purposes when stewarded rightly. When you use this, so a lot of people are sponsoring missionary, are sponsoring crusade, revival all over. There is no amount of money that they can spend in propagating the gospel. So when you have to know that. So you have to love the money. You love God. So and when God gives you the money, you use it for God's purposes. So what is the right application for today? Believers should regularly examine their motives. The motive behind why you want to get that money. The motive why you want to be wealthy. The motive why you want to be rich. So believers should regularly examine their motives about money, success, and possession. Ministry should never be driven by profit, but by true and love. It's not that you see some pastors, if you don't want to see them for counseling, you have to consultation fee, all those things. No. So you see, so this, so that. No, that's love of money. So ministers and ministry should never be driven by profit, but by truth and love. The contentment and godliness are greater wealth than riches that destroys the souls. I believe you have learned one or two things. If you have questions, please put it down on the comment section and we are going to answer. Or you need any interpretation on any Bible verse, put it down and we are going to talk about it. God bless you. God be with you. Until tomorrow with another Bible text. I say I need to know, you need to know, we all need to know. Shalom.